no wonder 3 weeks ago he went to campaign in Western Region, in Zema. He saw a guy coming. Or see, or share or ban and Nancy and the tunnel next to the MP. See, look at the infatuation about asses. So if you hear somebody wants to lead you in the country, say 24-hour night club. Edino, night club. 24. Do you have 24-hour darkness? That means, Oba, you better do so. That is what he's telling you. You are not realizing. Because he said he's resetting us. It's a 24-hour night club. Now, who can you have a night club? The only place we don't want light is in the night club. Even that, for the music, we want electricity. True or false? We don't like light because Charlie, the air. So anybody who doesn't understand that we are in the 21st century, digital world, AI, Google, information revolution, and it compares it with eating, doesn't deserve to even eat the person himself.
My lady DC in charge of this place, the whole sub-constituency, parliamentary candidates, executives of the NPP, Nanabi, the hard-working national organizer that any political party has ever had in the history of this country, the national youth organizer, very well hard-working, who knows where the youth have to play a role and when to pull the brake and shakes the country all the time. Thank you so much for giving me the privilege to be part and parcel of this historic program. I am very privileged. We are blessed to have President Nanado giving us Dr. Mahmudu Mahoya as a northerner to be his running mate and leading the NPP. And it's a blessing for this country having Dr. NAPO Prepe, the vice incoming president of this country. It's a privilege and a blessing having him. If you compare NAPO's experience in politics, his fingerprints all over the country, what he has done for this country, and compare him to my former party running mate, it's like Johnny Walker and Apatesh. When both of them, both locally and internationally, if you see some of us supporting Dr. Mahmudu Bawumia, supporting NAPO, showing our face, it means there is more better Ghana ahead. We are looking at the future. There is nothing like a school that when you finish, you are a president or a running mate. It is a privilege that one deserves it based on their achievement. So every young man who wants a future, who thinks about getting a future, and also believing that it is not experience, people must be given the opportunity to also show what they can do for this country. And I can tell you, Dr. Mahmudu Bawumia represents all Northerners irrespective of your political colors. And Dr. Mahmudu Bawumia being the president after 50 years that Dombo merged with the NPP, Dankwa, Busia, Dombo. President Kufuor represented Busia. Our father, able, hard-working President Nanado, who has not only proven to Ghanaians that you can achieve your goal with perseverance, focus. You know what he went through to be a president today. He is an institution by itself. And we as a Northerners, we have always been running mates in this country, irrespective of the political colors. We only cover a vacuum of being part of the equation. So Ghanaians listening to us, giving us the opportunity for a Northerner to lead the NPP today is a blessing, is an achievement, and that is why every Northerner, NDC, NPP, PNC, we think Dr. Mahmudu Bawumia and NAPO, Dr. Mahmudu Bawumia is the next golden key for any Northerner getting the opportunity to there that I want to be president is through Dr. Mahmudu Bawumia and His Excellency NAPO Matthew Opoku Prempeh. I will not bore you. I will not bore you today. You will see us speaking 99.9 Northerners think that our big brother John Dramani Mahama got his opportunity. He did what he had to do, but we cannot put all baskets in one. We cannot put all eggs in one basket. We must open other doors, and we think that whether hook or crook, listen to what I'm saying. Whether hook or crook, we will make Dr. Mahmudu Bawumia, Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh, a president of this country, and I am sure that, and I hope they will not disappoint Ghanaians. They will not disappoint us. They will make sure that this country is great again. Love you all. Thank you so much. May God bless us. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Let me quickly acknowledge the presence of the following dignitaries who have joined us here this morning. She's already spoken, but let me introduce Honorable Jennifer Tete Echabe, who is the MC of Madinala Kwantana. Please, round of applause for her, please. Let's acknowledge the presence of Mr. Robert Lupton, aka Okuko. Thank you. Thank you. Let's acknowledge Mr. Hayford, CEO of Ghana Library. Welcome, sir. We appreciate you as well. My senior, Mr. Puafu is also here. We acknowledge your presence, sir. Well, next to speak to us, ladies and gentlemen,
Let's welcome one of the most prolific politicians in this country, one of the most competent, the free SHS Vice President, the most competent running mate you can have. Choboy, Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh, the visionary, man of competence, man of vision, man of ideas. That's him, Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh. We call him NAPO. That's it. Just 30 minutes. Just 30. You don't have lectures today. That's why you are saying that. Only 30 minutes. In 18 days' time, we'll be voting for a new president. In 18 days' time, we'll be voting for a new parliament. But the single most important message for you is that in 18 days' time, we'll be deciding your future. So when you go back to your hostel, take a piece of paper and write, in 18 days' time, what would I want my government to be doing for me? Don't say what would the government be doing you. Say, what do I want my government to be doing? Because whether you decide to vote or not to vote, whether you decide to vote for NPP, which I'm here to canvass, or vote to any other party you like, pick a piece of paper, and today, blank piece of paper, and write, what would I want my government to be doing for you? Because no matter the person who wins the election, he's your government. If you look around all the contestants and you look within yourself, which of them would I want to be on the international stage speaking for or by behalf as a Ghanaian? You look at all the presidential candidates and you ask yourself, which of them has the integrity to be able to lead Ghana? You look at all the presidential candidates and you ask yourself, who will be on my side? You look at all the presidential candidates and say, who can be with me for this future journey? Because it's simple. When we wake up Monday, 9th December, by this time, 9th December, the Electoral Commission will be declaring a president as the president-elect. For me, let me tell you a fact. The future doesn't belong to me, because I am current. The future doesn't belong to Dr. Bawumia because he is current. He is the one that is going to lead you into the future. So check all the presidential candidates. Take their picture. Go and look at their video posts. Watch them closely. Watch them closely. All of them. I think they are 30 or 13 minus 1 or something. Check all of them and ask yourself, who can be my father or who can be my mother, such that the person will think about my well-being. All elections is about your well-being. So if you decide you want the person who will open 24-hour disco because your life will be 24 hours in the disco, you have the person you are going to vote for. When I was your age, I was in KNUST, and I had to make a decision at that time. Who do I want to lead the future? I can tell you that time, it was 22 years ago. Or was it 22 years ago? 1992, 32 years ago. 32 years ago, I'm sure 90% of the people in the room here were not born. But I was in your shoes. And I was supposed to choose who I think can lead me into the future. That time there was no TESCON. But we formed a party, a students group for one of the parties. The party hadn't been in power before. We have only read about them in history books. But when we read their manifesto and we listened to them, and we didn't have a multiple of radio stations, so you have to strive for the manifesto and read for yourself. We decided that the country that can best champion the future of our youth was NPP. So I didn't stop. I struggled to become the NPP leader at that time, students leader at that time. And I was in a medical school. And we were going for lectures every day. We didn't have your day off like you do, my brother. So we were going for lectures every day. And we had to organize the party on campus. And it was not TESCON, commitment, but with little inducement. It wasn't that way. It was NPP. We are going to work for you to make sure you come to power. Because I personally felt, when I looked around, all the candidates that are appearing or want to contest, none of them could be my father, except Professor Dubois. I wouldn't wish any of them to be my father. If you can't wish somebody to be your father, don't vote for that person. Simple. If you don't wish for a prosperity for yourself in future, take your vote for joke. If you have gone through UPSA, whether you like it or not, you finish within the next 3 years. So you don't care about tomorrow. Joke with your vote. Because it was not always like this. Just about 8 years ago, go and look at the pictures of UPSA, if you had it. 8 years ago. And go and look at the pictures of UPSA now. All I want to tell you is that leadership matters. And it is not 5 people who. Leadership what matters. It is the person who is the leader who will change and better your future. It is not the joke. It is not all NPP people who are coming to rescue you. But it is who that person is. So if you hear that somebody said that, I don't care about students going to secondary school. And I'm not joking. Go and look at the educational sector report 2015 or 2012. You Google, you'll find it. In black and white, NDC said secondary education is for only rich men. They don't believe that poor people to go to secondary school. And don't say 2012, the person who signed that report is still alive. Yesterday, I met her at a funeral. Betty Molidusu. He was an education minister. And when they produced that report, they said, so what will happen to poor people? They said we should go and test all their parents to see if their parents can pay or cannot pay. Isn't there? What about if you test and their parents cannot see? What would you do for them? Do you know what President Mama said? He said, I'll let them work whilst in school. Secondary school. I'm not talking about university. You will let your son, you will let your daughter, who is between the age of 12 and 15, or 15 and 18, work whilst in school to earn something to pay the school fees. It's there. So if somebody read it and decided that the future of the country is not safe under NDC, you would also have to read and listen to what they are saying now to see whether the future of the country is safe under NDC. Imagine, in Ghana, secondary education is the boarding education, right? Nearly 80% of all students are in secondary school. So the best secondary school, the best college in Ghana is Prempeh College. No two ways, right? No two ways. It's the only college that wins international robotic competitions regularly, not once in the frying pan. Regular. It's the school of the future. We are preparing Prempeh students for the future. Imagine there are about 1,500 or so or 2,000 people in Prempeh College. There's only one dining hall. And there are only about 10 houses with lavatories, toilets, and buildings. So if 30% of the students there are poor, and you say, and they're in secondary school, and you say they should work in the school to earn money, to be able to pay their fees, what is even the work they can do in the school? Just ask yourself. So remember, that if you didn't believe what you are reading, it is that same party that an minister came to sit on TV and said that there's so much work to do. If you like go to the bush and carry stone and come and put on the roadside, if you carry stone for 3 days and put it on the roadside, you will get money and you'll be unemployed. If you can't carry the stone, go and get a sickle and start cutting the grass. Start cutting the grass. That grass is not a confirm that will eat it too. The guinea pigs will eat the grass and you get money. They said it. And you can Google. So it is not what they have written, what they are saying. So just 2 days ago, the Minister of Finance under John Dramani Mahama, he should speak up. He said it's not everybody who is entitled to free SHS. Why ban the internet fee? Why ban the internet fee? But the story is even more difficult. If you think, when Kwame Nkrumah of blessed memory introduced partly free education in the north, especially secondary, President John Dramani Mahama, his father was one of the richest Ghanaians, not rich man, one of the richest Ghanaians. At that time, he was in a boarding school called Achimota Primary. Only privileged people can take their children to Achimota Primary, true or false? But when his father heard that Kwame Nkrumah has introduced free secondary education in the north, his father took all John Ramama's siblings, including John Ramama, and all of a sudden, remember that they came from Tamale, took them there to go through free education. And this is the man that is telling you, if you are poor, don't go to school. Not only that, listen to what they do. Recently, about 3 months ago, he was in Tamale. He said Tamale people are giving birth left, right, and center, and that is why there is poverty. He even thinks that when you are poor, you shouldn't give birth. Because, again, 2001 to 2008, all the people here, I call most of them Kufuor babies. That is when President Kufuor introduced free maternal care. Before free maternal care, children or mothers will go to hospital to go and give birth. And if you didn't have money, you stayed in the hospital. They refused to let you go home with your baby and yourself. Till your family, they go and sell something and come and take you from hospital. And then President Kufuor introduced free maternal care. As soon as President John Dramani Mahama became the Vice President of the Republic of Ghana, under President Mills, the first thing they cancelled was free maternal care. The next thing they cancelled was national health insurance. So even when you are poor, you should not be able to get access to health care. That's what they told you. Then to make it worse, before President Mahama, before President Kufuor came, every child, when you're going to public school, it was called a shift system. You go 8 in the morning, you close at 12. Some come and start at 1 and close at 4. 4 hours of education in a day. That is what they offered. And if you are going to school, you became a pauper because your table and chair was on your head. Don't believe that it didn't happen. No. You find it incredible that it happened, but it was in Ghana. When President Kufuor came, he introduced school capitation grant in schools, and they stopped charging. And introduced school feeding because he felt that some children were from poor homes. Between 4 years, after 4 years of that policy, 4 years, the parity, the gender parity in big C schools was 1-to-1. Equal number of boys and girls were now going to school. Because for the poor family, if he has 5 kids, he will check, this is the first male born, you can go to school. This is the girl, let's prepare her for marriage. That is a simple choice. Because there's no money. Not everybody can go to school. This is the 4th born. He's very, very smart. But he's devilish. He's devilish. Stay home. This is the 5th born. He's nice. I'll name him after myself. you go to school. That was the educational lotteries the poor people had to go through. So you see, most families, it will be only one person who will be educated. And I believe in the Bible, and I believe that in every family, God creates the game changer. And if you miss that opportunity of the game changer, that family is finished. But even before that family, the game changer emerges, life's decision has been made not in his or her favor. So before 2016, 80% of the best schools in the Ghana, basically, that's the top 55 schools, right? That is called Category A schools. 80 to 90% of those who went to those Category A schools all had private education. So, listen, just 3 days ago, I heard Ghana National Association of Private Schools are telling us that they are going to court to stop the free SHS for allocating 30% of placement to poor children who go to public schools. The audacity. The audacity. The nerve. Say, ufu say when you sikana do back or private primary school, if I go private secondary school. But the reality was that when I introduced 30% for equity, I didn't pluck it from the sky. It already existed, but abused for the well-connected and the privileged. They called it catchment area. So when the children went to do the exams and they didn't do well, they said, old boys, old girls. So when we started Achimota, where were the old boys and old girls? When they started Achimota for the first 10 years, they didn't have any old boys and old girls. But listen to the anthem of Achimota School from Ayawasu. Tell me, give me the words, please. Yes, you, yeah, you know yourself. Yes, you in black shirt, black dress. You know the team of Achimota School, right? You went to Achimota School, right? Get up for me. Or say from where? Listen, from Gabaga to Accra. From Riaso to Kita. We are brothers and our mothers. You know, at that time, when it was long vacation, thank you. I'll give you a present. When school went on long vacation, the head teacher of Achimota was mandated to travel around the whole country in search of not rich students, but brilliant minds and bring them to Achimota. That was the foundation of Achimota School. Achimota School was not set up for the rich and privileged. But come to 2012 to 2016, 90% of all those who went to Achimota were only privileged. Omo papa was called bon Achimota. And omo papa was called at the good primary school called Achimota. So when we started the free SHS, a headmistress of a certain school remarked, school ipana exit car park empty because the rich had not populated the school 100%. Right? So when it is time to vote, it's not a time to joke. It's the time to vote. It is not a time to think twice. So if you are in the university and you fall for a Yezu, then you say, Eyazan. If you see anybody wearing NDC t-shirt on this campus, pray for the person. Don't think I'm saying that because I am a member of the NPP. I am a member of NPP by choice, not by birth. Because I was thinking, if you are in the university and you cannot think, who else must think? Just about 1 month ago, I went somewhere and I said, the reason why I cannot join NDC is that they killed seasoned pastors in this country. They say, Google, Odifu Asari in Kumasi, they killed 78 persons in a 2-week ordeal. Went to kill a policeman in Konfonoti, shot the policeman on the hospital bed, and dragged Odifu Asari, tied to a taxi, dragged him to Creditia, and used him as a shooting target. Killed him. And 78 members of his church. Google. Why? But it happened. So when it happened, I have to know the history that this party, I have to be careful. Right? Then in 2014, 15, 16, you hear a presidential candidate standing on the platform saying and bragging, my party has got revolutionary roots. We are not afraid of violence. If you do, we will visit you with violence. Then you know that your life is at stake just as they killed some people. So when I say this is the party that killed people, I'm not just saying it too. I'm saying that we should never forget they did that and they will never change. I said it and I gave lots of examples. So if you're in the university and you can't, now that all the information is on your phone, just Google and you'll find. Don't joke with your future. You are the ones who should go out there and propagate a better government for Ghana. There are people, when I started my political terrain, I met on campuses because I used to have a love for going to tertiary university campuses. Because if you look at the segment of people who don't vote, they are all university or tertiary school girls. The ladies here, the ladies in Legon, the ladies in Poly at that time, they don't vote too. Because Saturday or Tuesday, when it is time for voting, no community. So we have to work extra on them to live up to their responsibilities. I tell you, go and check UPSA where you are. Go and look at the number of students they had in 2016 and check the number of students they had in 2024. You see the level of increase. Why? Because leadership matters. Why? Because leadership matters. When UPSA was constructing hostels to benefit students, some people, another leadership in another university, had collected money and chopped. That today, Ghana government is still paying. 2 universities. Bakukoji is Kanwaede. Ready? Bakukoji is Kanwaede. But you see that. So don't take it as a joke about when they are selecting leaders. It is not a popularity contest or a beauty contest. It is for somebody who is going to take decisions on your future. So, when I became Minister of Education, the total number of students in secondary school were about 800,000. Of that 800,000, I tell you, a third will not finish school. Go again to check Google. Every year, the Conference of Head of Assistant Secondary Schools in the North, CHAS, will close secondary schools for about 3 months because government has not brought subvention. When they started school, go and Google, 2015, Okujato was all over the air. They did 3 rounds of school placement. December, they are doing school placement. So the first term, nobody went to school, if you are in Form 1. And the academic calendar for SSS was 9 terms. Form 1, 3. Form 2, 3. Form 3, 3. Go and check. If you see, if your leadership is bad, everything is bad. So first term, they didn't go to school. And when they finished final year, they started WASI in January, February. So they missed second term and they missed third term. So 3 months out of the 9 a year. Simple reason why students' failure rate was high. So you look at the core courses: English, Maths, Social Study, General Science, right? At no time before 2016 could they pass mark 40% in mathematics. At no time did they pass 45% in English. That is the basics. So where could they go to university? Every year, about 520 to 550,000 children are born every year in Ghana here. Leave out those who go to secondary school. You just take them out. Go to private schools. Right? But BEC, go and check. It's always about 400 and something thousand. By the time they go to SSE, it's always about 300,000, 260, 270, 280,000. So between that time, how many students are gone? 100,000. And at that time, they don't have a certificate to go and look for work. Yes, somebody will come and tell you, if you get free SHS, you don't get work. But I will better have a student educated at secondary level than at a BECE level. Because at least with WASI, at least with a WASI certificate, you can get employment in the civil service. You can get employment in the police service. You can get employment in the immigration service. You can get employment in the prison service. You can get employment in the fire service. You can get employment in customs. With WASI. With BEC, 0. So who has done better? The person who says if Ghana should go to bankrupt and that all citizens should get secondary education, and the person who says 40,000 school children could not access their results in 2016, BEC and SSE, because they couldn't pay examination fees. 40,000. 40,000. Now, BCE, WASI exams fees are what? 100% paid by government. The best WASI result ever, right? We count the number of people who get A1 and qua 8. Maybe what? Happened in the year 2020, the first cohort of free SHS. Of the 465 A1s across the whole of West Africa, Ghana got 80% of that A1s. First cohort of free SHS. The best 3 students in West Africa came from that cohort. And that is the cohort that stayed home for 5 months because of COVID. So don't think that because in a family of siblings, 5, they are never all the same. So why do you say that Ababy Abasa? Some gave us Doomsaw for 4 years running. And when we asked for electricity, they said, put your mobile phone off. So say, oh yeah, girl, now a boyfriend or her, now need mobile phone. Momo no sabe daka. Momo no on sabe aka. So your boy, now or her, would you have to travel to your home to look for your father to give you money, or you will send a message? And then when we are talking about we are going digital world, then somebody says, in California, digital, you will pay cake and fish. Oh, you forget that even cake and fish now, if you want the right one, you call, they will deliver, and you send a message. True or false? True or false? If you want a joint for good food, you go and search. You see, they sell awache at here. You pick a phone, you order, they will come, you pay. Momo. And somebody is saying, this bananas. So I'll plead with the students here. Don't take voting for granted. Don't think it's a waste of another day. Don't say that all the parties have no future for me. Your future is in your thumb. Your future is in your thumb. Look for the party that can best champion your future. If you do believe, because I know you read, that there's a government that couldn't buy chalk for blackboard and told the teacher, if you want chalk, use your money. And now when you go to basic schools, they don't use chalk again, though. They use whiteboards. That means the future is different. If you see a government that for 8 years bought not a single textbook to any school, basic or secondary, but no book, and you see a government that is buying books, and secondary school, if you went to free SHS here, you had 1-to-1 book for all the core courses. Why? And this is the chief librarian. I call him chief librarian. He made sure that even for courses that were optional, they stocked school. He is the chief librarian who started stocking secondary school libraries with textbooks. And he will be in my office. He will be in my office. But you have to provide for him to do his work. So I am very, very proud when he says, and he won the Best Public Service Institution Award by the United Nations in 2021 in Dubai. Not Ghana. Some are very, very happy to go and call 2x4 people and award them certificates that you are the best, you are the best. If you are the best, compare yourself to external. True. He compared himself and he was the best. 2021. He even invited me, even though I was not the Minister for Education. He was the best. So when a no-mean university comes like Harvard and says, NAPO, you are the best minister for all the Harvard, I have to celebrate it, right? But it is because I put in the hours. If you want to become a first-class student, you put in the hours. It has never been that there's any sitting education minister that universities would award honorary doctorate. Yes. There were 15 educational ministers before me in the period of 8 years. 15. Count from 2001 to 2016. I was the 16th educational minister. None of them got an award for the work that the person had done in any school or anywhere in Ghana educational service in any that time. But Dr. Michael Poku Prempeh collected it from 3 universities. Not because I revel in that work. It's because I wanted to make sure that the one that I got into the Ministry of Education, I thought about in 4 years, when I'm no longer the Minister of Education, how would I look back and see? One of the biggest issues we had in Ghana was called teenage pregnancy. Every year, these NGOs and COSOs, government papers, graphic, teenage pregnancy, front page. In the last 6 years, have you heard teenage pregnancy front page again? Because when only 100 boys were going to, for every 100 boys that were going to secondary school, only 65 ladies were going. Now, with 7 years of free SHS, for every 100 boys, there are 107 girls. Obiabawe, it was school. Why am I no better? Why am I not taking advantage of? Right? So those who mothers gave birth to them free, by the time they got to secondary school, Nana Adodankwa Akufo-Addo had ensured that they will get free senior high school. Now, if you want to check, go to all the nursing schools in Ghana, and they're nearly over 80. 80% or 90% of every nursing school is only women. Ask yourself, what would they have been doing? They couldn't have attended nursing school if they didn't have WASI certificate. True? They couldn't have gone to teacher training if they didn't have WASI certificate. True? All these things, if they are true, then the government that ensured that at least the basic education that a Ghanaian child has is secondary must be rewarded. A secondary free education must be protected. A secondary free education must be enhanced. A secondary free education, at least if for nothing, that your sister or your brother be your brother's keeper, would also enjoy it. Don't think free SHS is an end product. Ghanaians are going to benefit more from free SHS in the next few years. Because Obia, I went to a village in Sefi. The chief said, Akayeni wine, and I call her 10, call Chibota. The chief said it. The National Security Minister was awarded by his village because for the first time, students from his village, his poor village, had gone to Wesley Girls and other schools. Education is an equalizer, not a divider. Just as digitalization is an equalizer, not a divider. So anybody who doesn't understand that we are in the 21st century, digital world, AI, Google, information revolution, and compares it with eating, doesn't deserve to even eat the person himself. So now, everything you want to do, you have to pick your food. I remember a very personal story. I met a young lady. I said, 3 days later, the friend of the lady called me and said, hey, Jai girl, let you. And I was thinking, girl, you Google. I didn't even hear what the Google was. I was like, Google any day. I was like, oh, dear shame. No, your background, but near where do we are singing our baby. So that is when I realized that was before 2004. That is when I realized that the world has moved on. You can't use the same solutions that were working in 2000 for 2025. You need a government, a man of the moment, a man who has prepared himself for the future. And that person is Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. Recent American elections, Kamala Harris said that they are going to introduce drone services in America, like Ghana has done. Just about a week or two ago, in Britain, they said they are going to pilot drone services. But look at what we said in Ghana. When Dr. Bawumia said drone for healthcare delivery, they say, you see, for the uninitiated, for the blind, for the poor in mind, or say that they go here mato. That obia a money dryer, a money dryer because drone is a real they here mato. Fast forward 2024, a chairman in one of the northern territories, or one of the northern regions, dressed in NDC colors, going to campaign. Now we walk out and say, pa, oh, dying, and you're rushing to the hospital. They say, venom, Dr. Defa phone, digitalization. Obviously, can you approach me from I can't give you electricity, so switch off your mobile phone. The doctor used the mobile phone and said, pa, to the drone station. Do you have snake venom? I said, yes. The man was lying there. Who said the elephant, the fan. The elephant was coming. The elephant with wings was coming. The elephant was wings. Dropped the medicine. They took it, injected him. 15 minutes. Sorry. Say, and this I'm not going there again. Me, I have a personal experience of where government. When we were introducing drones, people were talking about watching women's asses. That is how bankrupt they are of ideas. Listen to President John Mahama 3 weeks ago. He said he thanks God that he lost the 2020 elections because had it not lost, and Kakofin day. See, bankrupt of ideas. But don't take my word. He wrote a book. He wrote a book called My First Coup d'Etat. Me, my hobby is to weekend. It's the politics now, Hamid. Every weekend, you'll find me in University of Ghana bookshop. Every weekend, about 2 hours, going through the books, which one I can buy and read. I read like I'm crazy, right? And he wrote a book. There's a copy there, my first school did that. You go and read. He said, here is undecisive. Hey, area say, how can you use your mouth to carry such negative news? He's undecisive. On no. He is incompetent. He can't decide. Now by here, President of the Republic of Ghana. Now won't he be in this idea? No wonder 3 weeks ago he went to campaign in Western Region. In Zema. He saw a guy coming. Or see, or share or ban Nancy and the tunnel next to the MP. You see, look at the infatuation about asses. Or see, me share, you know, or to me share who said the MP not in the chino. Is this a person you want to lead your country? Is this a man you are confident that when he is in charge, he will be speaking for you? Obia, what the president da? Or say Oba or ko honeymoon? Why is he called the ko honeymoon? When seriously, Ghana needs people who are leaders who should be thinking breakfast, lunch, supper. I'll tell you, 2022, you were all alive. The cost of a liter of fuel was nearly 22 cedis. Now, gallon, 22 cedis something. I was the Minister of Energy. Everybody knew that by the end of the year, there will be no dollar in Bank of Ghana. In fact, the governor said it. Said his foreign exchange reserve is depleting, and by December 31st, there will be no dollar. There was panic everywhere. That time, the vice president has suggested that we should call something gold for reserve. And that since independence, Ghana is the #1 gold mining country in Africa for years. And since independence, the only amount of gold that we had in our reserve was 8 tons. Since independence, 1957 to 2022, 8 tons. And we should start using gold as a reserve currency to back our city so that the city doesn't fall. Because once you don't have city in the vault, every price will go up because all the traders are looking for dollars to go and bring in stuff. So speculation set in. So Adeno, 1 cedi, he thinks that if he takes 1 cedi for $1, by the time he brings the stuff in, he will need 5 cedis to $1. So today, he starts pricing his things 5 cedis, not 1. That's why everything was going up. So we sat down and I said, Charlie, maybe they make you a trial energy. We said, gold for oil. If you are bringing, because the gold supplies were bringing in needing about $400 million a month for petroleum supplies. I said, if you bring it in, we won't get dollar for you, we will get gold. Bank of Ghana will use Ghana cedis to buy gold. We won't let any small-scale exporter export gold. Bank of Ghana will buy it all. Within 3 months, petrol price fell from 23 cedis to 13 cedis. And for 2 years now, it's between 13 and 15 cedis. And still, in Abidjan and Lomé, petrol price is 22 cedis. That is a government that thinks. Not one that says, yay, COVID, come here, come to me. When COVID arose, we gave free electricity. We gave free water. We gave free food. And we gave salary to private companies to put their people on payroll. When in the United States of America, they were putting people at home. Every teacher that didn't work was paid. Every nurse was paid. Compare it to a government. Even when but when we did the COVID, they also formed the COVID task force. They never even brought one suggestion. And this is somebody who says he wants to leave you. Please, if you are here, it is your duty to not only stay in campus and vote, to go outside the campus and go and preach the gospel of a better government. Go and preach a gospel of a better future. Go and preach. Madam, who goes school? Tema, you are privileged. Even in Tema, sit. You know Tema more than I do. 5 years ago and today, look at Tema runabout and Tema interchange. You don't see the difference. NPP has done 5 or 6 interchanges. It's still less than Kofi Duba interchange, the price. They built Rich Hospital. It was an old hospital built in the 1920s. And they refurbished Rich Hospital. I was a member of parliament that asked the question in parliament. What is the cost of refurbishing Rich Hospital? It's the single most expensive hospital in the world. They built a 1-bedroom flat for $500,000 there. So, election is not a joke. Oh. Election is not what? A joke. Election means you are taking somebody and giving the whole of Ghana to manage. Managing yourself. Look at your. So we say, Oboko disco. Ope disco pa. Ope pa. But what do you mean disco 24 hours? Wait to me. Ejuma kakra, enije kakra, and nakakra. God gave us 24 hours to divide it into 3. Work time is work time. Party time is party time. Sleep time is sleep time. So if you hear somebody wants to lead you in the country, say 24-hour night club. Edino, night club. 24. Do you have 24-hour darkness? That means, Oba, you better do so. That is what he's telling you. You are not realizing. Because he said he's resetting us. It's a 24-hour night club. Now, who can you have a night club? The only place we don't want light is in the night club. Even that, for the music, we want electricity. True or false? We don't like light because Charlie, the air, and conform mama, and then conform my mama. I tell you, I call club now, but I did say what I know. And the man cries in your dear. But even that one, we don't do it for 24 hours. Even for the students who like partying like myself, we just did it Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Every Monday, yeah, break. What's the class now, Woda? Chill in the end. If you don't chill, if you are in university and you don't chill, you have missed your last chance of chilling. So I expect the university student to know how to chill, to know how to do serious work, and to still come up with a good result. You have to be an all-rounder, not a chillest, and fail your exams. I want to do PAU. So I want to end by saying, I'm pleading in UPSA that you are one of the institutions that have benefited from good leadership. You've seen what leadership has done. Today, a building was named in my honor. I wish they had called it NAPO Hostel. Because there's only one NAPO. One. But there are many Matiopogo prempers. I have nephews who are even squabbling. Uncle, there are too many Matiopogo prempers after you. But NAPO is unique, right? So I wish it had been called that. But listen. I said something there that was very, very controversial. And it goes to my heart. I didn't call this place University UPSU. I said Opoku Ampoma, University of Professional Studies. Do you know why? Everybody here, go and listen to the history of UPSA. It was, imagine yourself sitting here. growing up and setting up a school, right? Your own resources, no bank money, anything, your own stuff. Then me, politicians as I am, I said, Sir Kwano, Obama was setting up school, no, Berman was setting up school, no. Only me per one girl, it's my G school, because I had the power. It was not about girl, it was about chieftaincy. Because of chieftaincy, the government of the day confiscated somebody's school. But listen to the nonsense. I'm not worried. That one is madness. But 20 years down the line, when the guy is coming back for his school, then the stealer tells the guy, I've invested in the school to be farmer. Just imagine somebody did the same thing to you. Stole your father's house. You didn't know because you were a kid. You grew up and you realized that it is your father's house. And you go to take it. Then the stealer tells you, oh, even though it's your father's house I stole, I'm very, very sorry for stealing. Very, very, very sorry. I won't steal again. But as for this house, I've improved it, so I'll give your thing to you. How would you feel? See, if the country doesn't learn to honor its hard-working citizens, to reward hard work, we will always go back and go back and go back and go back. If we cannot give this university back to the owner, at least we should honor him with a name.
Menu makwekwe asempa kania. Semenam na meti asempa na mamo amania na mano kekame. Anyemia wati ANS Trading Agency Limited nka. Sa woka se door to door for no de ani wetwa. Esanse obi ni wa wo se wo was door to door business nim. Wo nneoma wo UK a wo de kwa Ghana. Ana se Germany a wo de kwa Ghana. 3 to 5 weeks e bekwa kodu nipa ne puno anu se try. Na de mo demonstration ko se adwuma de ewe mu ne se wo ho bo no. E da fom se boko. ANS Trading Agency Limited. E wo air freight special service. Ana nneoma ne ye de befa play. Entintempa na akwa kodu. Obetima fa sa plan we ya so de nneoma free Ghana akwa UK ana Germany. FAGG dem which na also agina ye na men drop bomb. ANS Trading Agency Limited pe and a 40 footer any 20 footer container. Ya fe UK ediko Ghana ana Germany ediko Ghana. Omo manuoma ye mere import o export o dem there for you. Omo Ghana na money 0249 170 423. UK has over free 0790 802 7527. Germany 09173 771 2733. Ubenya ANS Trading Agency Limited. Our West Croydon ANS Trading Agency Limited. Quantum Brantem. Wana beboya baso. Maybe next time you feel afu from the bebro.
Vivian, let's say, the more kwababa abiexpress.com. abiexpress.com the media, yeah, mo. I got a phone here, but you know, the pop one on the other abiexpress.com. And then I want to hear free Ghana and Africa. And pop one Saturday. Can tell me now open out your dad down home party Asiana. Maybe you have abiexpress.com. Yeah, they are pop one year man, yeah, they blow abiexpress.com. Yeah, they I mean, yeah, and then I watch a share. Who Europe abroad today, and now America, Australia, no one, now that's Asia now. Maybe I will be a Rokra. Everyone is on abiexpress.com. Now you will Sabeka, abiexpress.com. Where they end your mo, abiexpress.com. Where they papa, abiexpress.com. Yeah, the Ghana, 12 abroad.